Jim, as always, good to talk to you.
Likewise, Ginny.
So Cleveland goes before the state Supreme Court yesterday, and they're insisting that state law does not supersede the city's registration requirement for handguns or the city's assault weapons ban. And they have the appeals court on their side right now. Your thoughts on all of this?
Well, I think the appeals court is going to get overruled on this one. The Ohio Supreme Court already ruled on preemption, which is uniform firearm laws throughout the state, back in a Clyde case in 2008. So our side won that case. Cleveland is continuing to throw a temper tantrum, but I think really we're seeing the end of Cleveland's last gasp at gun control schemes, and they're going to lose this one too.
Yeah.
And it's the law is clear on our side. Their spokesperson or their attorney was funny. He argued that it should be a general law because it does not adequately allow the city to police its residents on the gun control issue. What this really is, the city's taking away the city's rights to regulate the safety of its residents, unquote, which is kind of an ironic comment because the city of Cleveland has enormous problems with crime that other parts of the state don't. Maybe if they focused on the criminal instead of focusing on the law-abiding citizen, they could address some of their crime problem. And their other beef is that this cost them too much money. But they're the ones that brought the lawsuit in the first place.
Right, they're the one they're spending the taxpayers' dollars on this.
Exactly. And one of the provisions that preemption has is when they lose, they've got to pay the winning attorney's fees. So one of the beautiful things about the way this whole thing is playing out is this is a battle between the big bag city of Cleveland and the great big state of Ohio. And the law-abiding gun owners and the NRA and Buckeye Farms, we don't have to go spend money in this whole mess. It's the city of Cleveland's money the whole way, and the state of Ohio to sort through this. When Cleveland loses, they're going to have to reimburse the state, and then our case will go forward where we're directly suing the city because of its continuing prosecution on law-abiding gun owners. They don't allow you to own various types of guns, what they consider to be assault guns or assault pistols or rifles and shotguns. They make you register your guns and pay fees, and they prohibit certain types of carry. And they've just got this laundry list of harassment things for law-abiding citizens. And this is almost the end of the road for Cleveland.
And you make a good point because, there they are talking about all their gun laws are in the name of safety. But, and you're right about the whole situation of crime in Cleveland. But also when you look at preemption, making sure that there's a statewide standard on firearms, what could be more safe and important to do?
Exactly. And Ohio was one of the last states to pass this. Even California has this, and no one's trying to change it out there. It works because it's the right way to do things. It's like motor vehicle laws. It would be insane to let local jurisdictions decide what sort of car you can drive and what sort of rules you're going to have to abide by and all of this other nonsense. We have uniform laws on the vehicles and how they have to be equipped and what is a legal vehicle to have on the roads in Ohio. And it's the same way with firearms, as it should be.
And I thought, as you said, the lawyers for the state made a really good point, reminding the justices, hey, you know what? You ruled on this before.
Exactly. This is the appeals court was funny. When they ruled on this, they said, look, we know the Ohio Supreme Court's already ruled on this, and we know we're bound by their decision, but we don't care. We're not going to follow the law. We're just going to go off and do whatever the heck we want. And I think you're going to see the Supreme Court slap those three justices back in line and say, actually, no, you are going to enforce this law, and here's the ruling on it. And if it's just complete nonsense, but it's what we have in the state of Cuyahoga, and it's just a mess, and it's no wonder that our city is in the condition it's in right now.
No doubt about it. And as you were saying, the outcome of this case is going to determine what happens with the case you're bringing forward.
Yes, once this case is decided and we win this case, then our case should move forward, which is a direct assault on Cleveland's assault weapons bans and all of I think they've got about 20 local ordinances that I know they're telling people, oh, we're not enforcing them. But we know of several people who have been arrested and had their guns confiscated because they haven't complied with some Cleveland ordinance. And we're going to put an end to all of that nonsense. And so hopefully this ruling should come out in a few more months, and then after that we'll get going on ours. And one step at a time, we will take our rights back and make cities like Cleveland and others who don't want to play by the laws pay for their poor decision-making on behalf of their citizens.
Waste of money, no doubt, we hope, is what it is in the end. But, you've got to know other cities are closely watching what's going on here.
Yeah, certainly cities like Columbus, who's been anti-gun for years, and other places, and smaller cities. We know smaller cities are looking at this because there are some small cities that are anti-gun or have some people there, but they don't want to spend all of this money. They're like, hey, let's let Cleveland go spend this money, and then whatever that decision is, if Cleveland wins, then we know we can go do these knucklehead things, and if Cleveland loses, we know that too, and we don't have to waste our money and our resources chasing it down. So there's a lot of other places looking at this, and this will have implications far beyond the city of Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. You have been one busy guy. I mean, you got this going on, and then you got the countdown to the elections, and Obama, boy, he's made a lot of visits to Ohio, hasn't he?
He has, and it's a frustrating thing. He's in town either today or in the next couple days, and Governor Strickland's going to be there, and it's frustrating to see an A-plus endorsed gun guy by NRA and Buckeye Firearms spending time with Obama. But it's one of those things we've learned. You can't, if you judge people based on their friends, you eliminate every single politician that's in office, because everyone's friends with somebody whose position you really don't agree with. So you've got to judge people based on who they are and what they do. And Attorney General Cordray, who's been fighting this lawsuit, has done a great job, and Governor Strickland, and they both have endorsements by the NRA, and they deserve it, and I hope they both get reelected.
But you must be working nonstop trying to make sure you get the gun owners and supporters of the Second Amendment not only out to the polls, but working to make sure others get out there.
Absolutely, and it is critical that people get out. It's funny, people think, well, it's already decided, or we're seeing polls, and it doesn't matter anymore. Absolutely, these races can still be decided, and for people who have never volunteered on a campaign, I cannot encourage them enough to get involved and go out and work in some campaign. I don't care whether it's a state campaign or a school board race or your local state house folks. There are races that are going on. One person can make a difference. Get involved and volunteer. We've got great weather going on. Get out and enjoy it. Do some walking or make some phone calls or do some stamping envelopes or something. Whatever you want to do, whatever fits you, get involved in some way. You'll find that small investment, just 2 to 4 hours, maybe 1 or 2 times over the next 3 weeks, that will pay dividends for the next 2 years as you establish a relationship with your legislature. So now when you call in and have your opinion, you're a guy who's been there for him. He's much more likely to want to be there for you, not just return a phone call or a nice email, but actually do the work for you because you were there and did some work for him. It's the best investment in your right, in your say in government that you'll ever make. Because you spend 2 days on a campaign for some guy who's going to go fight for your rights for 2 years. You can't beat that deal on your time investment.
And if anybody wants to get involved for the first time, now is the time, because this is so crucial and so important as a midterm election. You can't take any chances, no doubt about it.
Exactly. And if somebody doesn't know what to do, it's really easy. If you're in Ohio, go to our website. We've got a voter guide. You can put in your stuff. It's a customized voter guide. And for anywhere else in the country, or for Ohio for that matter too, go to the NRA site and you've got it. If you don't know who to contact, either contact an endorsed candidate by the NRA or contact your local NRA EVC and get involved. They are, like I was corresponding with my local, actually it wasn't my NRA EVC, but an NRA guy that's in town working on a campaign for Tom Ganley for Congress here in Cleveland. And you have relationships with these folks and get involved and volunteer. I'm making... I just got sent a bunch of numbers for doing calls from home. I don't even have to leave my house, and I'll be making phone calls on behalf of an NRA-endorsed candidate this afternoon and this evening, because it's critical that every single one of us do something.
Yeah.
It may not be a lot, but do something, because in numbers we're huge, and all we have to do is get involved. If we sit there and do nothing, the idea that people go, well, I voted. You know what? That used to be great, but today it's not enough anymore. In addition to voting, you've got to get active. You've got to do something. You've got to be involved in the process beyond just a vote, because we need more than a vote to win these battles. The other side's doing more. We've got to show that we care enough about our rights that we'll spend a couple hours defending them.